Liz, Tony Chiappetta Shoes. This is a customer testimonial that we're shooting. We like to say, ain't no better than Chiappetta. We've been around for 100 years. Tell us who you are and maybe just a little diatribe about how you originally came to Chiappetta Shoes, how you came across us.
My name is Liz Dodo, and I was having seriously bad plantar fasciitis. Probably about 18 months, I was in pain every time I took a step. I went to the podiatrist, he put me in the boot, he sent me to physical therapy, he gave me cortisone shots, taping, wrapping, all the things that you could do, even a surgical procedure, and I was still in pain every time I took a step. So I decided to come here and give the orthotics a try.
Gotcha. And from when you started that journey to the time that you found out about us, how long were you going through everything? How long did it take for you to say, oh God, I gotta go to a doctor, I've got a really serious problem? And then how long were you working with the different medical professionals? And then at what point did you come into Chiappetta Shoes?
Oh, I was probably struggling with it on my own for maybe 6 months or so. And then finally I was like, nah, I gotta go to the doctor. I got a problem. And then really it only got worse. But we dealt with that. Probably I was going to see the doctor, I think 18 months, between the original boot, therapy, surgery, boot, therapy. It takes a long time. And even at the end of all that, I was still in pain.
At any point throughout that process, before you came to us, did they ever mention footwear or inserts throughout that time period?
I was using their orthotics when I got the plantar fasciitis.
Okay.
I already had orthotics for a different issue.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. No, it didn't come up again.
Gotcha. So thinking back to how did you find out about not only us, but our custom orthotics?
Word of mouth. I can't quite place who said. I think my mom's friend said that, you gotta give them a try. You gotta give them a try.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thinking about, what you had before, the orthotics that you utilized and kind of leading up to this process, the boots, what were the differences in the products that you were using? So the inserts and the style of inserts that you had, the boot, what were the differences that you feel were there versus our custom orthotics?
Well, I think honestly that the orthotic from the doctor might have been what started the plantar fasciitis, just because it was addressing a different issue, and it seemed like when I wore that, it was worse. So I don't know, theirs was a lot thinner. And then once I finally came here and I got the orthotics and I got the Fin Comfort sandals from you guys as well, I think it would have been probably within a couple weeks, I started to feel some relief, which to me was like amazing.
That's good. Well, after 18 months or 24 months of having a lot of issues, I can imagine that 3 weeks is a kind of an alarming time period in a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that. So thinking back about the materials on what you had before, what style of insert was it? With us, and I know we explained this in the past, we have over 160 different kinds of custom orthotics. What style of insert? Was it a hard plastic that you had before? Was it a real soft, flexible style? Do you remember what you were using before?
Yeah, it was a real soft, flexible style.
Okay.
I mean, it was also custom.
Gotcha.
I mean, the doctor did a custom orthotic for me, and not only did it not solve it, I think it kind of contributed to it in that foot.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors when you think about the style of inserts that you make. Taking the proper impression, so what you're starting off with from a shape standpoint, is a huge part of the entire process. And then thinking about the materials, soft versus hard. When we look at manufacturing orthotics, how a shoe fits with an insert is really important. So a lot of times if it's too thin and you're trying it with a running shoe, your foot could be moving around, and you have to think about the functionality of an insert. Just from the get-go, how long have we been working together? Remind me. And then from a performance standpoint, you said about 3 weeks it took to start noticing a difference with a good sandal, custom orthotics. How, from a lifestyle standpoint and from an effectiveness standpoint, what was the timeline? What was the relief factor, and how long have we been working together? I'm trying to think.
Well, I think it's probably about 4 years. Yeah. The relief factor was amazing for me. I was also almost 300 pounds, and I couldn't really exercise because I couldn't really walk. And so once I was able to get my feet back, I had an 80-pound weight loss.
It's amazing.
Yeah, working out and eating less, it helped. And then I'm in a band, so we would be doing 7-hour shows. I was able to do that without being in pain. There were shows I did in a boot before, it was crazy.
Right.
But I trained for and ran 2 half marathons. And
That's
then
awesome.
Decided from there, you know what? I think I can run a marathon. So I did. For my 50th, I trained for and ran a full 26.2 miles without foot pain. You go from taking 1 step and it hurts to 7 hours and 7/10 of a second.
It's a lot of steps.
That's a lot of steps. It is.
So,
and my feet were fine.
I love hearing that because, at the end of the day, it's all about enabling people to really live a better life. And, we think of comfort as to not have to think about limitations or pain, or just to be able to go and do what you want. And, a lot of people get stuck. You get stuck in not getting the right solutions. You get stuck in the situation where you think you're seeing people that are going to help you out, and it's just a repetitive cycle. And to be able to get somebody that, it's a catch-22 of not being able to exercise, that you have pain and you want to better yourself, to be able to help people out is really what we like to do. So thinking back, you were wearing orthotics before. You had this plantar fasciitis that popped up. From a lifestyle standpoint, you said you lost 80 pounds pretty quickly. Tell me from the life-changing standpoint, like how did we help? And I don't want to, butter it up too much.
No,
yeah.
I mean, it totally 100% would have been impossible for me to do. There's no way I could have run a half marathon.
Yeah.
There's no way I could have run a full marathon. There's no way I could have run around the block before I got help with my feet. I pushed through with the band because it's part of what you do, but at the end of the day, it wasn't easy.
Right.
And it was painful, and the next day I felt like I was exhausted. I was like swimming in peanut butter. It's so tiring. But when you have the opportunity to get...
I'm gonna have to use that one.
If you think about it, swimming in peanut butter, you can't get much more tired than that.
I don't know if anybody wants to swim in peanut butter.
No,
it sounds
it
pretty
would be
tiring.
messy. But it's just the idea.
Yeah.
It's not actually putting it. I've never done it, literally, not. But
Be a lot of peanut butter.
it would be a lot of peanut butter.
Try it. So.
I don't know. So, no, life changing. 100%.
Awesome.
100%. Couldn't have lost the weight. Couldn't have done what I've done in the last 4 years. Couldn't have been at my healthiest when I turned 50 without you guys. In fact, when I ran my half marathon, I had a little, I made a custom made shirt because that's kind of what you do. And it says this half marathon brought to you by, God, my friends and family, Serenity Life Fitness, where I was getting my workouts in, and Chiappetta Shoes. You guys were on my shirt.
So counts. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
so cool.
I wrote it on there because it's legit the truth. Cool. There's certain things, there's layers to getting to where you need to get to. And you really can't get a lot done when your feet hurt.
Yeah.
I was hesitant with the price. It's an investment. Now I own 3 pairs because it's an investment that I can't do without.
Right.
Because I can't do things without. I don't trust my feet to anybody but Chiappettas at all. I don't get my shoes anywhere else. I don't buy them where I'm not getting fitted for my orthotics because I know I could get the wrong kind of shoe that wouldn't work right. I just don't buy my shoes anywhere else because I trust you guys.
Remind me too, because I know throughout the whole process, I mean, we obviously try to take a hands-on approach. We want to see every 6 months for maintenance, all that good stuff. Remind me, between the start of wearing our orthotics to when you ran that first half marathon, what was the time difference there?
I think it was about 8 months after getting my orthotics that I ran my first half marathon.
That's so cool. I mean, just to think that you couldn't take a couple of steps without pain and then to be able to go.
Right out of the bed, all day long. Every time I took a step on my foot, I was in pain. Every step.
That's not cool, but.
No, it's not cool, but getting away from it is really cool.
Well, I'm happy we could help, obviously. That's what we get out of bed for, you know, to be able to help people live better lives. And there's not many shops like us left. There's not many people that really know how to make custom orthotics all that well. And we're trying to build more knowledge base, more people in the shop that can be able to do that.
Well, that, and there was also, if it didn't work, there was a partial money back guarantee. So I was like, well, you know, what do I have to lose? You know, and the risk, the benefit, the potential benefit really outweighed the risk. So I figured, give it a try.
It's not cheap. You know, we understand that.
But I mean, what kind of a price tag do you put on the quality of your life? You know, and if every time you take a step you're in pain, what kind of quality of life do you have?
Right.
You know, and there's not a second that I regretted getting my stuff from you guys.
Good.
Ever.
Well,
and I don't ever wear my shoes without my orthotics unless they're approved by you guys.
That's what we like to hear. You know, the price point's always interesting because we don't work with insurance. We go down that road quite often, and it's a problematic process because a lot of times they want to dictate to you what materials we can bill for. And I kind of treat everybody as a blank slate, whereas, you know, most other places, I work with plenty of doctors and they're great people, most of them, but you know, when it comes down to orthotics, nobody makes it themselves. They send them out to the labs and it's just the same thing over and over again. Versus us, where we have tons of different materials and we make something for your foot. So, yeah, I think we covered all the bases. You have anything else to chime in? I think we covered mostly everything.
No, I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, for sure.